So here we have the Rosamunda potatoes that did not have a haircut. You can see that the leaves are beginning to grow or go yellow. It's also been attacked by some beetle or bug which has done something to the leaves. So that's the condition of it at the moment, and I'm going to be tipping them out and seeing what the results are. And just next to it is the potato that had a haircut, and it also has been affected by some bugs. There are holes in the leaves, but there's not so much yellow, perhaps down the bottom. Yeah, some of the leaves are yellow. So you can see here, there, that's where I gave it a haircut. Then all this is a new stalk, and I gave it a haircut there, and all this is a new stalk coming up here. So by giving it a haircut, it looks like it is put on lots of, there's another haircut there. You see it, oops, there. Cut it there. And it's put on this new growth. So the question is cutting the tops off your potatoes and causing this new growth, does it give you a better yield and bigger potatoes in the end if you're growing them in pots? So that's the question we are going to ask. So we'll have to do a potato reveal. I've noticed with these potato reveals that if you get about 1 pound of potatoes out of a pot like this, they're very small pots, don't know, I would say perhaps about 10-inch pots, 12-inch pots. And then everyone I've seen growing, these have only had 1 seed potato in them. When you get about 4 seed potatoes in a big pot, then you might get about 4 pounds. So if I get a pound of potatoes out of these pots, I'll be well happy. For the classic potato reveal, what you need is a wheelbarrow. I've seen many people who will use a tarpaulin on the ground, but if you want to go old school, then you definitely have to have a wheelbarrow in it. People from Yorkshire, they will use just an old piece of black plastic on the ground, but if you want to do a proper and a real potato reveal, then you need a wheelbarrow. When it comes to cutting the shaws off the potatoes, yes, the shaws, it's a name for those leaves that come off the potatoes. It's an old Scottish word, shaws. When it comes to cutting the shaws off the potatoes, you could have, for example, some secateurs. These ones are by Fiskars, and these are the preferred shaw cutting instrument in Finland. Very nice secateurs, spring action, and usually when you're doing a potato reveal, you should just subtly sort of hint at the tools that you're using for cutting the shaws. And Fiskars is a Finnish make, and is one of the better instruments to use when you're cutting the potato shaws. The other one is the classic Fiskars scissors, which have been ergonomically designed for your thumb. You can see here how it just slips in there, and it's just beautifully, and then 2 fingers there. If you potatoes are rather thin and the shaw is rather weak, then Fisker's scissors will suffice. For the professional potato grower in bins, then these sheep shears are the tool of preference. Since I never ever grow potatoes that are sufficiently large, then I never use them. But a good stainless steel sheep shear is an excellent tool to use for a potato reveal. Some people use pocket knives, but they're rather sort of amateur in their approach to doing potato reveals. So those are the ones that I would recommend. The next essential thing that you will need is the potato reveal gloves. The potato reveal gloves were introduced by baconsoda, or as he is known, Brendan, from the Red Hat State. And he has perfected a technique which is called the Brendan sift, where he puts his hands into the soil and magically he lifts the soil up like that and discovers potatoes from the soil. So when you're doing a potato reveal, you should practice on some loose earth. The Brendan sift is an integral part of doing a potato reveal, and a good pair of green gloves are essential. And I would strongly advise against wearing pink gloves. If you wear pink gloves, for some reason, you only get very, very few potatoes when you're revealing them. So that's my advice on wearing gloves for doing a potato reveal. Now here we have the 12-inch pot with one seed potato, and most of the videos that I have seen, you can expect about 1 pound of potatoes from a 12-inch pot. I'm not expecting very much from this, basically because it's been eaten, the leaves have been eaten by some bug. But now I will go and I will cut the shaws off this potato pot and begin the potato reveal. For this I will be using the Fisker's scissors. They're quite adequate for this potato reveal. And as you can see, when I look at these leaves, there are holes in them which would suggest that some small insect has perhaps eaten some of the leaves. This one has gone yellow. I should imagine that this particular potato, which is a red potato, has come to its the end of its growing cycle. This one looks a little bit withered. So that is all the shaws taken off the potato. And now we should don our special potato sifting gloves and empty out the pot. This, by the way, this pot has not been touched. It hasn't been given a haircut. So it will be interesting to see what kind of results we will get. So here we go. Well, there we are, one potato here. A small one. I should have another receptacle for putting these potatoes in. But let's break this open to see what we have. So there we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the Brendan sift now, magically producing potatoes. 7, 8, breaking it up. 9, oh, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, some small ones, we have to put these ones in, 20, 21, and there we have it. That's all that I think that we'll get. We'll do the blend and sift just to make sure that we haven't missed any. Going through, we should tell a story now as well, if we're in real baking soda mode. But I don't think that we're going to get anything else. Oh, there is one! I found one. Yes. Wonderful. So, there we are. I think I've done it. And that is the haul. I'll just put them up here so you can see what we have. From one potato in one pot without a haircut. And these potatoes are very popular in Finland. They are called Rosamunda. A lovely baking potato. So there we are. So that is a reasonable haul from one potato in a 12-inch pot. Oh. I'm rather averse to doing potato weigh-ins because I'm always just comparing myself to other people when I do it. So I'll now put this Cornish cream ice cream pot in there and do a tar. That's 60 grams. So that'll bring it down to 0. And now I'll go and get the potatoes and put them in the container and see how much it weighs. There we go, that's a good handful. Second lot. And the last few little potatoes there, putting them in, and that gives me a grand total of 932, 33, 32, can't make up his mind, this scale, grams, just short, shy of 1 kilogram of potatoes. And I must say that they look rather excellent. Rosamunda red Finnish potatoes grown in a 12-inch pot without a haircut. Now we'll do the potatoes with a haircut.
Okay, Jimmy, this is the potato Rosamunda in a 12-inch pot that was given a haircut. You know, the old potatoes and tomatoes, they're somehow related, and if you just get suckers off potatoes and clip the tops off them, then they make new branches. So this is what I've done with this plant. It was cut and it put out new growth, and it's looking a lot healthier than that other potato. And you would think if there were more leaves on it and they lasted a longer time, then there would be more photosynthesis, and there would be more sort of sunlight going down, being stored as carbohydrates in the roots, and we would get more potatoes from a plant that has had a haircut. So let's test this theory and see if it's just hocus pocus or if I'm talking out my other orifice. So here we go. I've lost my Brendan gloves. I don't know where I've put them. So I'll have to go dirty with my hands. and no Brendan sift. So let's take these out. I must say the stalks are, they feel a lot better than those other ones. They've got more life in them. Oh. That's it. Now we dump it out. I think I've got a better camera angle here. Just hold on a second. There we go, that looks good. You can see there are already some sticking out the side. A reasonable size. Oh, let's break it open. 1, 2. Oh, look what's here, Mr. Slug. How did he get in there? Old Mr. Slug. Get away. 1, 2. Quite nice size. Around here. 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. They do look a bit bigger. They do look a bit bigger, I must admit. 8, 9. 10. But fewer. I think there was 20 in that other one. Nothing there. The Brendan sift, but I don't think it's going to give me anything. So only 10 potatoes as opposed to 20. But bigger. So let's go and weigh them and see what we've got. Looks like the haircut might not have succeeded. It looks like, well, something has happened, but not what I expected. Screwed up the weigh-in here, but it was 734 grams. I had about 2 minutes of red scales, which I've just deleted. So, what can I say? That the experiment was to cut one potato down, give it a haircut and see how it influenced the growth. We could see that the weight of the potatoes wasn't as big as the untouched potatoes. But what we also did see was that the potatoes were bigger and the leaves at the end were much more healthier, which means that it could have had a longer growing season, and perhaps the potatoes would have got even bigger. I'm quite sure that cutting the tops off them was a shock to the system, and it stopped it producing lots of little potatoes. But nevertheless, all the new shoots that came out could have prolonged the growing season and given me bigger potatoes and more weight. So it's inconclusive. So if you want big potatoes, give your potatoes a haircut, but you won't get a bigger yield. So that's my conclusion. And give it a go yourselves, or don't. Stupid thing to do, anyway. Bye for now.